What were we yesterday? 42 degrees?
Something like that. Yeah, it was supposed to get up to 40 again this week, isn't it?
I haven't looked too far yet.
You do know where the cemetery is, don't you?
No, which one are we going to today?
When Carl was buried, they,
Yeah, I heard that.
They got lost. I remember that.
yeah,
Really?
The guys come out of Alcester. Well, and I tell you what, coming in off from Highway 3 from Alcester,
yeah,
and if you aren't real familiar with this town,
yeah,
that's not an easy cemetery to give directions to.
no.
I can believe that.
Because there's really not a straight shot to it.
Right.
Well, I think everybody but the driver knew where to go.
Where to go. Oh, yeah. Hannah used to share that story with me.
I forgot all about that.
Yeah, it was kind of wandering around town a while, and then they stopped and asked somebody in the next car, so they knew where it was.
And you know, I can't, and for the life of me, I can't ever understand how that could happen. Unless you had called ahead for an escort to catch you on the edge of town, and the police were busy, and you're kind of left on your own. Then I could see a little nervousness trying to find someplace. But
Well, some of those rural cemeteries, though, I remember one in north central Iowa, and it was about a 40-minute drive from Fort Dodge, and the funeral director had only been there once before, and that was the week of the funeral, to go up and take a look at it and find it. And getting back up there the second time, he took a wrong turn, and we wandered around for a little while. And that was before the days of GPS.
and I can't say I've never blatantly gotten lost, but I've driven the roads several times to reaffirm it in my mind. Years ago when I worked in Sioux Falls, was working on a service, and the gentleman who was head of the service, well, he was one of the owners of the business, he forgot which cemetery he was going to. And he got busy visiting with the minister on the way out to the cemetery, and I'm the third car back in the funeral coach, and as we leave the church, I'm thinking, where are you going, Kenny? We're going to the one on the other side of town. We pull up into this other cemetery and pull through, and I'm like, so before cell phones, and all of a sudden, I'm thinking, okay, he's got her under control now. We just get a little drive through the cemetery, and we get out to the correct cemetery. And he gets out of the car and walks up to the family, and he says, Bill's always told me he liked this cemetery. We thought we'd take him for one last ride through it. He was a gentleman who had the charisma and the personality to get away
Pull
with
that
it.
along, yeah.
Well, I hope you're not recording our stories here.
Oh, of course not. We have a lot of family that couldn't make it, so they want to see everything. Good story, though.
It'll snow a little bit too yet today now.
Yeah.
And I didn't think this was on the radar today.
I didn't say low probabilities. Do you know who's building this house?
I do, but I can't tell you. I've forgotten who. I've heard the name. Works out of Wells.
Middle of next week, they're talking freezing again, 32, so it's going to warm up again.
All I know is we're about halfway through the worst month. And February can still be pretty nasty too, but
You get 1st of March here, short time then.
it's already going to be shorter than normal. This hasn't been so bad so far.
Oh, I kind of appreciated the rain the other day.
Yeah, I guess
Soaked in pretty good.
my in-laws up in North Dakota had a pretty bad ice storm, I guess.
Did they? Or North Dakota then?
Just the southeast corner, but they almost never get it. There was an ice storm that went through about 5 or 6 years ago, and they were without power for about 2 weeks.
Yikes.
And they were about 6 miles out in the country and on one of those spurs, and where every one of the poles had gone down for like 6, 7 miles. And it just took that long to get them back up and running. And they depended on generators because it got really cold after that. But, you know, they're used to making do up there.
What town is that?
Wahpeton?
Oh, Wahpeton.
It makes for a hardship though.
Yeah, it does.
Used to that light coming on at night.
Well, just things like, you know, they needed electricity for their, because they have a well for their water, and so they needed electricity to run that just to get water into the stools and stuff.
Whole freezers full of meat. I lost a whole freezer that way once.
Well, that got taken care of by the fact it got so cold.
Yeah, that's a nice.
Sitting outside if the dog will come in.
Did the Wahpeton Breckenridge area get flooded? No.
It has several times been flooded.
That big flood was at 94, 95?
Somewhere in there. And that was a bad year. And you know, they're about 6 miles away to the west of Wahpeton, which is in between Wahpeton and Breckenridge is where the river runs. And that's, of course, the Red River that flows north, and the one that was flooded. And it's so flat that just, it was amazing how many things actually did flood.
My brother that went to college up there at NDSSS.
Now it's the North Dakota College of Science or something odd. They decided to make it sound more official, I guess. It's still basically a two-year trade school.
Yep, glorified.
Just enough of a skiff of snow to kind of clean things up a little bit.
Yeah, nice looking.
Emily Heisterkamp is getting married here in a couple of weeks.
Good shape.
She wants more snow because they wanted a winter wedding with snow.
Go to Colorado.
She was disappointed that all our snow was melting. And I said, be careful what you wish for. It could come on the day of your wedding. What do these orange dots mean? Are they going to take those trees out?
Yep. Those would be diseased.
I can understand some of them, but others I thought were better in a little better shape than that.
You know what? We are going to go this way. We can all go this way.
Ground's frozen now.
Gentlemen, we'll just meet right at the back end of the coach.